Communicating. Oh my God, can we just talk about how beautiful this is? Mother Earth, what an artist. Welcome back to my channel, you beautiful souls. Thank you for watching this video, clicking this video. I'm really happy that you did, because it's taken a lot for me to talk about this, but I'm going to talk about this because it's been going on now for a long time, and I've decided to tweet a couple things in regard to like what I'm going through, and I've gotten so many responses back and so many questions and so many just inquiries about this topic. And so I thought, you know, even though I don't really know exactly how to explain this or how to talk about this in a way that might make sense to some people, I'm going to talk about it because I know that a lot of you guys are going through it too, and I know a lot of you guys have questions, and so by sharing some of what I'm going through right now in my journey, I hope that it can help you along your journey as well. At least take off some of the confusion and the stress that goes along with this whole thing. Okay, so this video is about awakening and waking up and becoming more in tune with yourself and the universe, and what does that mean, and how does that happen, and why does it happen, and just, I don't have the answers to some of those questions, but we're at least gonna like talk about it and kind of just ponder about it, and yeah, so if you're interested in that, go ahead and stay tuned for this video. So I don't even know where to begin. My entire life I've always been what I considered weird, you know, like I always fit in, but not really like in the way that I had wanted to throughout my life. You know, like I've always had lots of friends. I've always, you know, I've never had problems like meeting new friends and being around new people. But what I came to realize about myself at a very early age is that I was very sensitive to people's energy and just who they were in general. Back in those days when I was like, you know, younger, I didn't think in terms of energy or realize that it was more energetic based than anything. But I just got to the point where I realized that I was really picky with who I would want to actually spend my time with on like a one-on-one basis. And I was really sensitive to just the way people acted, why they were doing the things that they were doing. It almost seemed like I could see why people did what they did, or the little tricks and maneuvers behind their actions that they try to pull over on you. I was always able to see these things very clearly. And it almost made me come off throughout my life as like kind of like a judgmental person, you know? And I always felt that way because I never wanted to be like that, you know? So when I would get these feelings about people, I would always question myself intensely because I would wonder why I felt this way about people. Why am I noticing these things? But then as experience played out, I always ended up being right. And don't get me wrong, I mean, of course there were moments where maybe I took it too far, or I got the wrong idea about somebody a little too early on. But for the most part, my experience has always proved that these gut feelings that I have received my entire life are able to be trusted. And so I lived my whole life this way, you know, just kind of going off of the way that I felt about people, not so much the way that they tried to show you who they were, or the things that they would tell you, or just, you know, I always would say that it's not what people are doing, it's why they're doing it. You can have a person who is, that looks like they are the greatest person, they do good things, they donate money, they volunteer their time, but it all comes down to the energy behind their actions. And at a very young age, I was able to pick up on this and understand this. And I always had like a really hard time with authority figures because a lot of authority figures are just telling you what to do, not out of good intentions or out of good intentions, but they want to just tell you what to do. They want to be a boss. And I was able to pick up on that energy. So living my entire life is like that has been a little bit difficult, but now I realize it was a total blessing. So how does this fit in with waking up? Well, in what I've seen so far, and just like what I've noticed while looking around on the internet and while watching videos and trying to learn more about what I'm going through, it's that a lot of highly intuitive, highly sensitive empaths are the ones that are waking up right now, more so than other people that I notice, or I mean, I know that there is a great shift going on right now and there are a lot of people waking up. But what I've noticed is that a lot of the highly sensitive people are kind of jumping into it like way sooner than a lot of the other people. And this is what happened to me. My entire life I've always felt like just a little bit confused. Like I didn't know what my purpose was. I wanted to know what my purpose is here. I know I can go and get a job and I can work and I can benefit society in a way. You know, I went to school 3 years for psychology and then I took some time off because I just don't know where I want to take it, and I still need, you know, to save up some more money to finish my last year, but I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do with that. So it's always been a question of like, why am I here? Like, what am I doing here? Like, I know that I have something like really great to benefit other people, but how do I do that? You know, how? So this has been something that has been on my mind literally my entire life. And so then, you know, after I took a little bit of time off from school, which was last year around October, I didn't take the time off then, I had quit the previous year, but then once October rolled around, I got to the point where I was like so depressed and so just down and like confused with my life and myself and what I wanted to do with myself and my life, that I just decided to like run away from everything that I was dealing with. So I packed up everything. I sold my couch. I sold my oak wooden kitchen table that I loved. I mean, I sold like all of my belongings. I packed up suitcases and I booked a one-way ticket to Portland, Oregon. Not knowing what I was going to do when I got there. I didn't have money. I didn't have a job. I didn't have a plan. I just needed to go, you know? So that fits in with awakening because in the beginning of your awakening, you are going to feel so alien and so out of place within society and within even maybe your own family or group of friends that you're going to want to run away. You're going to want to just fucking leave. Like, it gets to be so heavy on your heart and on who you are as a person that it becomes painful, you know? So because no one else can see the way you see, and people kind of just look at you like you're weird, they don't really see your heart, you feel very lonely and you just want to go. So that's what I did, and I kind of ran away from it all, and I had some really wonderful experiences in Portland. I had some bad experiences in Portland, but as a whole, it taught me so much, and it showed me a lot about who I was. Sorry, my camera's memory card was like full or something like that, so I just had to delete some shit. But anyway, what was I saying? Portland. Okay, so it really just taught me like a lot about like who I was as a person, and just like the way I was living my life was a little bit wrong. Like, I always tend to assume other people kind of think like me, or that their heart is as big as my heart is. And what I was confronted with in Portland is that people are able to really put on a front and act like they're a certain way, but that I needed to be more guarding of my energy and of myself and of who I am, because I am so highly sensitive, and you know, and I deal with that. So that's what it really taught me living in Portland, and just some of the experiences and some of the people that I attracted into my life were like beyond beautiful. Some of them were not so much. But I had to question why, and just, you know, I had a lot of soul searching to do there, which I was able to do, and I'm just so blessed for that experience, that I'm just so grateful for it. So after returning home from Portland, I was really motivated. I was really excited to like get back on track with like my life, and to have a car again. I didn't have a car when I was living in Portland, so it was awesome, but it was hard to like do what I wanted to do, you know what I mean? So I was super pumped to just like get back to where I was. I missed my family, like I missed the people that I care about, and so I was pumped to get back, you know? So that was around March. I got home in March, and I started working a retail job somewhere, and then I didn't really care for that job, so I was just like, oh, fuck this, I'll find something different, and I quit for a little while, going off of like my business. I was able to support myself that way, and then I ended up finding like an office job, which was pretty decent, and then I ended up finding another job that I left the one office job for, and it was like with a property management company. It was a decent job, or so I thought at the time. So at the beginning of summer, I start working this new job, and I can't even tell you like exactly the moment like it switched for me, but like I was working one day and I was like, wow, like these people are fucking awful. Like the way they would treat their tenants just wasn't great. And I was at like the forefront of that. I was receiving the calls and doing like the clerical work, you know, and it got to the point where it was like depressing me, and I just wanted to leave the job so bad. I just wanted to quit. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to waste my time there, my energy, and I battled with myself for it for about a week, saying like, Elena, like your side business makes you money, but you're not going to be able to like do what you need to do like with that income, and that's it. So so I went back and forth with myself. Elena, don't do it. You know what I mean? You shouldn't do it, blah, blah, blah. But I was like starting to become depressed because of it, and I just started feeling like, I just started having all these questions, you know, back in terms of like, what is my real purpose? Like, I know that this is great, this money is great, but like, what am I doing here? Like, this is not helping people. This isn't helping the world in any way. Like, I can't do this. So, it was a Friday, and the guy that worked above me was a little bit like, he would talk to me sometimes and use the word like babe and shit like that, and it would make me so mad. And I remember it was a Friday at the beginning of July, or maybe at the it was like the end of July, and it was a Friday, and I just fucking quit. I got there, I I sent out a letter to all the residents, which was, I mean, maybe I shouldn't have done that, but like I wanted them to know, like, you know, that somebody was sorry for what they were dealing with. But I sent out a letter to all the residents just telling them, like, I'm sorry that you're dealing with this company. I wish there was more that I could do as a human being, but I refuse to work for this company. I'm quitting after I send these emails, and I just want you to know that, you know, somebody does care about you and your well-being, and I'm sorry that you're dealing with this. And I quit that job. So I walked out of that job in July, and that's when things really started getting weird for me. I was experiencing like emotional roller coasters to the point of thinking that I was actually kind of going insane, you know? A lot of repeating numbers picked up. I've always seen a few different repeating numbers, but at the beginning of August they switched, and I started seeing like double-digit repeating numbers, and it just got really weird, you know? Then came like the tiredness. Like, I was so tired that I couldn't like function as a human being for literally a week straight. I wanted to do nothing but sleep. And I did. I would wake up at a normal hour, you know, after getting a normal night's rest, and I was so tired that I would either have to like go take a nap, or I would be back in bed at like 9 o'clock. And this really started making me like worried about myself. You know, I'm really in tune and in touch with myself and my body. So when these changes started happening to me, I was like, what is going on? Like what's going on? You know, got to figure this out. So I started searching the internet, and I started researching things, and that's when I actually discovered that like waking up and awakening ascension, it's actually a thing. I didn't know about it before then. I've always heard the term waking up and things like that, but I didn't ever really know about it. So I started researching about it, and I started, you know, learning more about it, and I was like, wow, like this basically sums up my entire, well, like the last 10 years of my life and exactly what I'm going through right now. I was getting headaches. I was getting like hot and cold flashes. I was getting aches and pains where I'd never gotten aches and pains before. And like I said, like I'm really in tune with my body. I know like when something happens to me, I know like why it's happening, you know? So when these things were happening and I couldn't figure out why, I was worried at first. And then I stumbled upon all of the beautiful people on the internet that are basically sharing the same things right now as I'm sharing. It's just like about their journey and what they're going through, and how it's, you know, how it's manifesting in their life and just what they're doing about it. So it was during that first week of all those weird changes that like all of a sudden I really just didn't want to eat dairy or eggs anymore. And I can't even tell you how that really came to be. It just like, I looked at cheese one day and I was like, wow, it's fucking disgusting. And don't get me wrong, like this isn't telling you what you should and should not eat or anything like that, but I had this like crazy thought process one day, like, oh my God, like I like saw the animals, like I saw like them in the cages and then their fear, and then I basically saw the process of the product like coming to me and me ingesting it. And like it was that right there that was like, I've been a vegetarian for 2 years and I've never, you know, eating meat was always really hard for me, so I gave that up, but that wasn't the way that this kind of manifested. It was almost like, wow, like I was putting this shit in my body that was literally lowering my vibration and, you know, taking away some of my energy. So I cut that out of my diet, and I started looking at just like everything else that I was putting into my body, from all of the coffee. I had a really bad coffee addiction. So I kicked the coffee, I stopped eating dairy, all within like a 2-week period of like walking out of this job. My parents are like, what the fuck's wrong with you? Like, you had this good job, like, what are you doing? Now you don't want eggs, like, you don't want to eat cheese, like, you were a cheese freak, Elena, like, what's wrong with you? And I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. And so I started researching more and more and more, and I was literally spending like 3 to 4 hours a day just like on the phone, on the internet, like reading shit, looking at videos, like trying to figure out what is happening to me. Well, and I can't even explain it. Like, I don't really even know how to explain it. But everything that you are as a being is energy. Your thoughts, your feelings, what you put into your body, what you do, it all resonates in terms of energy with your body. So the reason that I started talking about empaths and highly intuitive, sensitive people at the beginning of this is because I see that it's more of these types of people that are waking up faster, and it's because we are in tune with energy more so than some of the other people. There are a lot of people that are waking up right now, like abruptly, that are not spiritual in any way to begin with, so it's really hard. I think it's more difficult for those people in terms of just like, wow, like what am I going through? You know what I mean? Whereas I don't want to say like I'm spiritual, because I mean, you know, what is that? But I've been kind of interested in that sort of thing, like, I don't want to say my entire life, but I've always been a little, you know, like there's more to this, like what is this? And just always looked a little bit deeper. So when I started reading about waking up, it resonated with me. It made sense to me. It made me feel a little bit calmer, which is another reason why I wanted to make this video, because, you know, if you're one of those people that, you know, you never really cared about spirituality, or you didn't really research or know anything about it, and then all of these changes start happening to you, it really throws you for a loop, and it's like really confusing and stuff. So just know that you're not alone, and that these changes are taking place for a very good reason. And yeah, you're where you're meant to be. It's what's meant to be happening. So don't fight the change. Don't just, you know, ignore all of the thoughts that are going through your head at this moment in regards to your life and your path and what you're doing and things like that. As you start waking up, you are going to become so much more aware of not only other people and the world and all of its problems and all of its beautiful things, and you're going to become much more aware of yourself. And this can cause a little bit of friction, because you're faced with all of the things that you've done that have resulted in either your unhappiness, your failures, why you haven't, you know, accomplished what you want to accomplish yet. All of these things, you're going to be faced with it. And that's what the universe is trying to do right now. It's trying to shake you up out of your sleep, you know? It's saying, wake up, hey, come on, like, you have more to do here. This isn't it for you. Like, you have a bigger purpose. And not only that, but the earth itself resonates and vibrates at a certain, it vibrates at a certain frequency. And scientists have actually recorded that this frequency is rising. So when I think about this, like I said, like, I don't really have the exact way to explain this, but in my mind, you know, the universe is trying to bring other people's frequencies up as well, so we can kind of bring our light into this world, into this new earth that is happening at this time. It's believed that Earth is going through a paradigm shift in 2012. All of the planets lined up. So there was something in terms of energy that went on at that time, and ever since then, it's just, I guess, people have been waking up like crazy, you know? And that's what I've read, and that's like what I've come to find on the internet and on YouTube and stuff like that, that since 2012, it's been really rapid, and that a lot of people are just starting to wake up and to realize, like, there's more to this life. There's more to everything that they have ever told us. Religion, the government, the water we drink, the food we eat, what our purpose here as human beings actually is. It's not to get a job and to, make money, pay your bills, and then die. There is so much more to this beautiful life that we're living. And we are all born with so many gifts that we repress as children because it doesn't fit into our society. So some of us that are highly intuitive, highly sensitive people, we repress these gifts because we're not taught how to use them. We're not shown how to use them. And a lot of times it's these people that wind up with anxieties and with depressions because they simply cannot deal with the feelings that they're dealing with, and it makes you feel very alien when you can see the world through a different set of lenses than other people see the world through. So it's definitely a journey of strength. It's a journey of realizing that it's not a curse. At times it seems like it is, but it's really a blessing to be able to see and to be waking up and to be, it makes you feel like your whole world's being literally shaken to pieces. Your motivation for certain things starts to go. The things that you used to love, like me, for example, I loved cannabis. I loved everything about it. I smoked every day. During that process of kicking the dairy and kicking the coffee, I was realizing that the cannabis is, I don't want to say it's harming me, but it was lowering my vibration. I was actually rising, my vibration was rising so high that when I would smoke, I could physically feel my vibration become lowered. And that was hard for me because I really enjoy smoking weed. I love it. And so to say goodbye to that and to kick all of the habits that I kind of found comfort in and I felt like I identified with who I was as a person was really scary because then it was like, well, who am I? What am I here to do? What's my path? If it's not, this, or it's not these things that I thought it was, then what am I here to do? It's very scary. So I want you to know that you are not the only person going through that. You're not the only person who has no idea literally what they're here to do or why or how to do it or how to get to the place where you're ready to do it. But what I can tell you is that the fact that you're questioning it and the fact that you even know that there's more to your being is you're doing all right. You're doing good. And there's going to be a time through your awakening, which is coined the dark night of the soul, which is where you literally just don't really feel like you know who you are. And that's because your body is doing a revamping process. Your frequency is rising. You are changing at a DNA level. You are becoming better. And so you just have to surrender to it. You just have to let it be. You have to let go. You have to let go of the people that bring you sadness, the people that hurt your feelings, the people that don't see what's really written on your heart and what you are doing and why you want to do it. Let go of those people. It might be hard, but you can do it and you will be better off because of it. If you're thinking about making diet changes, but you're scared to, or you think that you can't do it or that you're not able to do it, just start small. If you want to start a vegan diet, don't dive right in and just completely cut everything out, and don't stress yourself out about it. Just take it one day at a time, start slow, and I promise you that as your vibration continues to rise, it will just resonate with who you are as a person. It will not feel like work anymore. You will not feel like, oh, I gotta give up dairy, I can't eat eggs. It's like it just makes you feel good. You will start to notice the way things feel when they go into your body, from what you're drinking to what you're eating to the music that you're listening to. I listen to mainstream music, not mainstream, I don't listen to radio music and stuff, but I listen to some of my trap music, and I love the Beatles, and I love, I love certain kinds of music, but for the most part, I have cut out so much of that from my life that I like it and I enjoy it, and if it was on, I'd still vibe the fuck out to it, but it's not really what I want to listen to anymore. I find myself turning on some Beethoven, or I'll be listening to just some isometric tones, or some 432 hertz music, which I'll link that below, and I might do a video on why that type of music is very important to you or for you. And I just started becoming more kinder to myself. I've always been really hard on myself, and it comes from being highly sensitive. You can feel everything that you're doing, how it's reflecting outward, and it's stressful, you know what I mean? It's very, very stressful. So Don't feel like you're going crazy. Don't feel like, that, because you don't want to hang out with any of your old friends anymore. That's the universe making room for people that are really meant to be in your life, and the people that are going to uplift you and uplift your vibration and help you go for all of the dreams that you want to go for. And so with that being said, all of those dreams that you have, don't let go of any of them. I don't care how far-fetched they seem, how maybe at a point right now you're not able to see how they can come together or how you're able to do that. But if they're a dream of yours, don't give up on it, because I promise that you have what it takes. You're watching this video and I know it. You have what it takes to accomplish anything in your life, anything at all. And I know this for a fact, okay? I watched myself change from a person completely over here to a completely different human being, and I'm so much happier as this human being, and I feel so much more me just from allowing these changes. So, do it. Through the month of August, I just kept to myself. I really didn't want to do anything. I sat on the porch like for hours just looking at the trees and just thinking, and it was around around the same time as like kicking the coffee and like getting rid of the dairy and stuff, like I started noticing like little specks in the air. Like I was able to see energy, and that was something that I never really experienced before. I've always been able to sense energy, and when people say that, you can see auras, I'm sure that there are people that can clearly see the colors emanating from the aura and things like that. But for me, it's more of noticing how your energy just... It's really hard to explain. So I was able to start seeing certain things in the air that I knew, I knew it was energy, and I started feeling the tingles, and I started getting I actually thought that like I had something wrong with me, because like my head was tingling all the time, and like I thought that there was an issue or something was going on with my head. Like I really had a crisis moment where I thought like my whole being was like crashing and burning in front of me. But as you look up on the internet and things like that, like these are all symptoms of awakening. Your frequency is rising, your crown chakra is beginning to open, and when that happens, it's just go time, baby. Like you have nothing left to worry about, So yeah, I really just, I don't know, I just wanted to touch on these things and talk about what I'm dealing with in my journey, and and yeah, just let people know that you're not alone, and you're not weird, and you're not like... We've been conditioned to think that like all of this stuff around us is normal, this working every day and this doing this and doing that. And yes, I know you have to survive, but we've been tricked, okay? Like we have been swindled, and that's not what our lives are about. And there's much more to life. There's much more to you. You are a beautiful human being with so many gifts to offer this world. It's just a matter of diving into yourself to figure out what they are. So meditate, pray, ask for guidance, and you will be shown things. Go out into nature, where there's nothing around, no buildings or people or noises, and just sit there and just look at the trees and just look at this world. It is miraculously beautiful and perfect and amazing, and you're the same, you are a part of this world, and so don't get down about the little petty things. I did it for a long time, and I just want you to know that you don't deserve it. You are amazing. You are amazing just the way you are, whether you want to do certain things, whether you don't, whether you want to get glammed up, whether you don't, whether you have the energy to go out and to do cool things, or you just would rather stay at home cuddling your dog. You are you, and that is to be celebrated, because there's no one else like you. There's no one else like you. Do you feel me though? Okay? So your power is endless, and they try to distract us from that power by dumbing us down with the fluoride in the water and the GMOs in the food and that are unlabeled, and all the shit that's on TV. The news is completely 100% fear-based. They want people focused in on fear, so fear vibrates at a lower frequency than love does. So when you're focused on a life of love and on being love and on expressing love and showing love to this planet, whether it's a tree or whether it's a dog or just another human being, they don't want that. They don't want to encourage that, Why are all the commercials on TV about junk food, you know, and what if there was 3 commercials about spreading kindness or about showing love, or that would resonate with people and it would start to happen. So when you start asking all these questions and when things really start making sense to you, don't get frightened. Don't look at yourself like you're weird, you know, because you're not. You're fucking awesome, and you are awakening. You're waking up to the web of lies that have been laid upon, you know, laid out in front of you in this matrix that we're living in. And this isn't the only life that you've lived. This isn't the only life that you will live. You are infinite. Your energy does not die. This is just, you know, one little vehicle that you're in at this time, but time is relative. Do you know what I mean? There is no past, there's no future, there's now. So in my reign of belief that everybody who has ever existed is here now, we are all here, and they want to keep us trapped here. They don't want you to raise your frequency high enough to ascend out of this, which many of us are doing right now. So continue along your path. Continue treating your body good. Continue putting great things in your body, from smoothies and fruits and greens, and you know, cook your food with coconut oil and try to steer away from caffeine, and just treat your body with love and kindness, because it is a miraculous, amazing thing. And it's just trying to shake you up out of your sleep so you can do what you really came here to do, what's written upon your soul. And God, the universe, your higher self, you know, whatever you want to call that divine loving energy that surrounds us, that is you, that is me, is your free will. But, you know, just embrace it, take it in, and just realize that it's all here to help you, and that everything from the trees around you, they're love. Everything is, when you choose to see love, that is all that your life will be, and it'll raise your vibration, it'll raise your frequency, and you will start snapping out of the sleep that you were in, and you will become a much happier, freer, just a better human being. You may start to see numbers. Repeating numbers was a sign for me that certain repeating numbers, if you are seeing repeating numbers a lot, please look up their meaning. Especially if they're double numbers or if they're triple numbers, that's a sign. There's nothing that sticks out in your consciousness repetitively that is not a sign to you. So if you see a spider 3 times in a day, or a butterfly flies by your face right at the moment you look at it 3 or 4 times in a day, you know, and it gets to the point where it's like, wow, another butterfly. Like, that's a sign. And the numbers, they're signs to you. Higher beings and angels and whatever you would like to refer to them as, they cannot communicate in terms of how we communicate, because they are light beings. They are beings of frequency and light. So they will communicate in the way that they are able to. But if you quiet your mind and you just, you know, start taking it all into consideration, you'll start figuring it out, and you'll start seeing it, and it'll blow you away. But I'm sorry if this is rambly. I'm sorry. I just really wanted to like speak from my heart and just kind of just really just talk about it, because I know that a lot of you guys, like, I went through a period of depression where I wanted to end my life. I've went through self-harm. I've went through eating disorders. I've went through smoking weed tons of times a day. Before I smoked weed, I used to, you know, sometimes I would abuse alcohol and pills, and like, I really tried the escapist route of trying to escape what I was dealing with and all of the feelings that I could not control. And so I just want you to know that if you're in that, and you feel like you're down and you can't figure out why, or, you know, you have these feelings of intuition and you can like sense things on people and you just get very sad, you have to start working on your energy. You have to start working on guarding your energy and realizing that you're not actually depressed. You don't have anxiety because you have a mental health problem. You are trying to cope with gifts that have been given to you that society is not ready for, that society is not built for. You are a creature of love and of happiness, and you want to embrace people. You want to hug strangers. You want to help the animals in the earth, and, you know, pick up trash where, you know, it's thrown, even though it's not your trash. Like, what if society was made of people like you? What if this whole world was made of people like you? Well, how dare them make you feel like you're an outcast here because of it, and you suffer depression because of it, because you feel alone, because there's no one around you that is like you. So you feel alone, you get sad, you know? It's hard. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. Like, you are amazing, and And you have these gifts that the universe is trying to shake out of you. So continue along your path. Look up stuff on the internet. I'm going to link some really great YouTubers below that taught me a lot and helped me find comfort and grounding during my roughest moments in August, where I was really experiencing a dark night of the soul. I did not know what I wanted to do, where I was going, what my next step was. I didn't understand how I was going to get out of the predicament I was in. And to be quite honest, I still don't really know, you know? But I've changed a lot since then, and in such a short amount of time, because I've allowed it, and I'm starting to see the light and where I'm heading, and just what I was meant to do here. So I encourage you just to keep your head up, even when you're fed up. Keep your head up, because you're amazing, and I love you. And so many people need you here. You're needed here. Your light, your love, your energy, it is so needed on this planet at this time, especially with the way that the planet is the way it's going. This is going to be, 2017 is going to be a year that we need to be ready for. And the world needs people like you, and it's going to need people like you. So don't give up. Continue to meditate, continue to pray, ask for guidance, and treat your body good. Raise your vibration, baby, because it's only going to show you all of the things that you were looking for, okay? If there's any questions, please leave them in the comment box below. I make videos, you know, whenever I feel like I want to talk about something that's going to benefit people in a positive way. So if there's any way that I can help you, please just let me know. And stay kind, stay happy, and just keep spreading your light. I love you so much.